All right, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. Q&A time. By the time you see this video, I will still be away from home, but I do think the next video I should be back in time. So whatever kind of craziness we miss out on, I will catch up on those things. Legends could be doing a funny. The last time I took a trip, the Buu duo got a Zenkai Awakening. No joke. I still remember on my way over to the trip, they did the teasers and stuff, and I was like, what the hell? You couldn't wait until I came back or something? So maybe this reset ends up being amazing. Whatever it is, I'll catch up on it when I get back. I'm still dealing with my cough and whatnot, so hopefully my editors can cut that out, because this is probably going to be a long video, and all the yapping will certainly have some coughing fits in between. But I said Q&A time. If you got any unique questions, leave them down below. I specifically said unique because I often get asked the same thing over and over again. I was hoping we can get some unique ones every time. So if I see anything I've already answered, I'm probably going to move on. We're going to start with Jordan. When is the truth DT finishing Dark Souls? Probably never. The guy uploads like damn near 9 videos every single day. I don't think he has time for anything else. I genuinely believe Truth's day starts with him. He just, he gets up, washes his face, brushes his teeth, scrolls through Twitter to catch up on any sort of crazy drama going on in the Dokkan community, and then he's immediately flooded with Dokkan ideas in his brain, and he just starts on it, just bam, 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 bam. From start to finish of his day, it's Truth just getting that content out. And I admire just how much work he puts into it, but a big part of it is the talking. I've done an 8-hour stream. I've done a mass recording, period. I've done so many of these things. By the end of the day, my vocal cords are tired. Imagine doing that every single day. Truth is just the true and true creator. The man is simply built different. Isabre. Are you friends with GitHub Copilot? I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know how I could be friends with a repository. I don't even know what Copilot is, but no. Let's assume no. Adam owns 6. How are you doing? Hope you're doing all good and are well and safe. Overall, I'm doing okay. I think by the sound of my voice, you could tell I'm still dealing with congestion, but in terms of being sick, that's all out of the window. I got no more like the body aches and the normal fever-like symptoms. It's just the, I guess, phlegm that you kind of just have to deal with that takes a lot longer to get rid of. I say okay just because I am a workaholic. I like to, I don't know. I feel like I've spent so much time just being in the weeds of all the work that I have to do that I don't remember a life where I just got to sit there and do nothing. So a big issue that happens is I'll work, and then something kind of gives, and I'll still keep going, and I'll work, and then when I'm one little strand away from just being absolutely cooked, I take a break. I leave it until the very last moment, which is a big problem. Anytime you see a beginning sign of burnout, you should be taking a break, because mental burnout is very difficult to recover from. Whenever you see those posts online of people saying, oh, I worked, 4 years straight at one of the FANG institutes, which is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. That's like one of those major tech companies. Those places have insane workloads, so they just work, and then they just say, I'm burnt out, I'm done, I have to go on a trip, and then they do like a 6-month tour of Asia. It takes that much time for you to bounce back mentally from all the work. So if you have mental burnout, take the break. Don't listen to what I say. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm very bad at that, but I'm taking a break because between getting sick, Legends views just being really bad right now, the workload that I've had to juggle for the last little while, I kind of I don't know what it was, but I realized I was getting into like some mental funk, and I realized, all right, this is usually, I'm not like this. This is a sign of me having to take a step back and then just do other things. I saw the signs, so I am going to take a break. That's what that's for. How are you finding life right now? I think I just explained that, so a little overwhelming, but it's nice to take a little bit break. Do you have any life goals, Legends, YouTube, or in real life goals that you haven't achieved yet and want to achieve and are working towards? For my life goals relating to Legends, I don't really have any specific goals to Legends. Mine are just like the same consistent ones of hopefully just, you know, playing to a standard that people are comfortable watching, you know, staying true to this idea of Legends. It's really just a phone game. We should be treating it light and having fun with it. And, you know, you shouldn't be having crash outs over a phone game. And if it gets to that point, just put the game away. You know, it's not a gun to your head. That's what I hope I keep achieving with the game. I don't really take it that seriously. For YouTube, it's just consistently grow to specific milestones. But my big focus has been my second channel. I've really just been hoping that does better, takes off, especially now because Legends is, I don't know what they're doing. I genuinely feel like the magic of Legends has now disappeared. It sounds so grim and not like me to say, but there was a magic to the game. It had this perfect combination of people were excited for the major celebrations. There was a very strong, tight-knit community of consistent streamers for all the different queues. Like North America we had ZVG, we had Professor Sensei, we had Billy. We had so many people just consistently streaming. So there was always a personality to watch for the game. We had, you know, celebrations that introduced characters that we were all just excited to have. We were getting new mechanics that blew us away. And that isn't to say Legends isn't still introducing new things, but it almost feels like when it was the first or second or third new thing, we were just taken away. But then now as we see more of them, it almost just doesn't feel like it has that same magic anymore. I don't know. I just feel like the magic of the game is kind of gone. I think the game peaked during like 2021, 2022 Legends Fest with Goku, Vegeta, and Sword of Hope Trunks. I think that's where the game peaked. Strongest community, strongest everything. And I feel like the content people absorb for Legends is sort of going downhill. So I'm really hoping that the second channel picks up so that I just have some other avenue to delegate the creation energy. Because I don't know. I don't know if Legends has another 3 years. It just feels like it's getting worse and worse as time goes on. At least it's just how I feel. For my in real life goals, I wanted to do this creator stuff full time. I know I've been doing this for like damn near 7 years, and that consisted a lot of just work in overwhelming amounts and dealing with a lot of stress, and it's finally taking its toll. And I was hoping that Legends with a new philosophy would just pick itself back up, since I think 2024 Legends Fest did crazy damage to the game. But it just feels like the game's more on a downhill. So I don't even know if I feel safe doing that. I genuinely don't. I don't feel safe doing creation full time with it until the second channel fixes itself. So I guess those goals exist, but I haven't realized them yet, but for reasons sort of outside of my control. Or maybe that's an excuse that I'm not a good enough creator. I don't know. There are still goals that I'm working towards. How do you start your day, and what is a normal day for you? Day in the life of Rai? If this is too personal, let's skip the answer to this. My day starts pretty early, like 5:30. I immediately am up, wash my face, brush my teeth, got my gym clothes on, and I just go to the gym. This isn't because I think starting the day with the gym makes you just, you know, like alpha superior to other people. It's just because I care about remaining healthy and training, and I know that I'll have the most amount of energy at the start of my day. So it just set that non-conditional standard and get it done first. That's what I do. and then I train for 90 minutes, a combo of weightlifting and cardio. I'll come home, eat my breakfast, and then I start my work day. So I'll start working, and then I'll usually get about 2.5, 3 hours of productive work where it's just I'm hunkered down, got my meetings done, getting my tasks worked on. And then this is the reckless thing, but I said earlier this year I wanted to grow my streaming. So what I do is I've noticed around lunchtime, nobody bugs me because there's like this 2 to 3 hour period where people are getting ready for lunch, having lunch, and then winding down from lunch, where I don't know if the whole company just collectively gets lazy, but it's like a 2.5, 3 hour period where nobody bugs me. And I was like, okay, I'll skip lunch and I'll use that opportunity to stream. Now, this doesn't mean I skip work. All it means is I can now stream like a consistent schedule, and then I'll stop, I'll go back to work, and the 2.5, 3 hours that I may have missed, I usually make up for it. Either on the weekends or I just work later in the day. And then when that's done, I then do the Legends video. And then when that's done, I do the adult things. So if it's meal prepping, if it's taking care of something around the house, stuff like that. I constantly have stuff to do, but you sort of realize how efficient you can be with your time. You know, people have a lot of things they got to get done, but when you really start cracking at it and you don't give yourself a little bit of breathing room, you kind of realize you can get a lot of stuff done. You know, some people spend their time farting around on their phone, doom scrolling. Like if you can get a lot of work done, you'd be surprised at how efficient you can be. So for me, my days are pretty jam-packed, but you know, that's just the way it is. Do you have a budget for Legends in terms of how much money you spend monthly/yearly? If this is too personal again, then skip it. I do set a budget, yes. There is an upper limit, but one thing that I've done is any amount that is saved from a previous month, I carry over to the next month, only because I know I will not get lucky forever. I know that there will be a time where I'm going to get unbelievably shafted. So I at least want to say to myself that with this budget, I know by the end of the year, it's averaged out at an upper cap of X. So I do set a budget. I did say earlier this year, I'm no longer 14 starring Super Saiyan 3 characters or any Majin Buu Saga characters. And that's because I've min-maxed as much as I can for Legends. There is nothing else I can do. I've done a little bit less collaborations so I don't have to spend more. I've done a little less summoning on specific things. Whenever there is a Zenkai now, I don't even rush to spend the CC. I do the 3000 Z power first. I don't care about being late on the showcase now. Like I've done everything I could to spend less money, and this is sort of the last thing I can do outside of getting lucky. That's it. The only thing that's left now is the RNG gods shafting me or gracing a character early for me. What's something about you that you think we as the viewers like about you? I like to think it's just that I don't take things too seriously, but at the same time, I think you guys understand that it's also met with a good understanding of what I'm talking about still. You can take something lighthearted but still be knowledgeable about it. That's how I treat Legends. At the end of the day, it's a phone game. It doesn't matter. The developers themselves don't even take the game seriously, so I don't think it's worth giving it that much energy. When people screenshot that they beat me in the game, I'm sleeping all the same. The game is more randomness than it is an actual fighting game. If you want a fighting game where it's a true test of skill, you're better off playing a console-based fighting game like Fighters or Tekken or Street Fighter, not a phone game where things like guest rushes, perfect vanishes, the moves you can do are based off of the cards that you draw, AoE greens, strike clashes, you know, projectile beams, stars, equips, Zenkai buffers, when stuff like that exists in the game. There's so much that's outside of your control. It's almost laughable to call Legends a measure of skill. It's more of a measure of chance most of the time, if anything. So my hope is that people just like that I'm able to have fun with things and keep it light, but still get a well-respected input on things they're curious about. I know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I'm not going to lose sleep over things not going my way. That's what I think the viewers like. And I'm kind of crazy, but that's more so seen on the second channel. Are you getting better and recovering from your sinus infection? Know how bad it can get. I get seasonal sinus issues. I'm getting a lot better. I've been taking a lot of medication to help deal with the phlegm buildup, and that certainly helped a lot too. I've done the home remedy of a big pot of boiling water, a towel over my head, and I just breathe in the mist to help break down the mucus. Maybe too much information, but yeah, that's definitely been helpful. Thank you for sharing the home remedy as well. I have a video request and I hope you don't mind it. If you're up to it, can you revisit the LF tag 17 and Android 18? If it's a no from you, totally understand and it's fine. Been using them every day until they get a Zenkai awakening for my videos, and I'm at day 1230. Wow, that's some insane commitment. I think they should have Zenkai'd this character a long time ago. Back when they were doing the future buffing campaign, it would have been perfect, but maybe we could revisit them. We'll see. But thank you for your questions. Raditz, do you have any beginner advice for someone that is a first-time gym goer? My best advice to you is to find a structured program that works for you, that you like, and then don't care what people think about you. I know that's crazy, but I remember my first time going to the gym. I spent more time being nervous that people would think I'm doing something wrong, that I look like a fool, that my outfit is silly, that, oh, I'm either, really chunky or really skinny, where they're gonna judge me. The gym is a collective hub of people wanting to better one another, and them seeing you, they are proud to see you there. Everybody that knows anything in the gym is happy to see somebody working on themselves. Only a loser brings down somebody that is trying to better themselves. Where else would you be, right? You're there to work on yourself, and these people are proud to see you there. So my best advice is get in there with a program you enjoy, whether it's a bro split, whether it's full body, whether it's upper lower, whether it's the push-pull legs. It doesn't matter. The program that works is going to be the one that you stick to the longest. So do that, do your best, and just have fun with it. Eat serious, top 3 ice cream flavors. I like peanut butter chocolate a lot. S'more ice cream is good. I actually like mint ice cream. A lot of people say it tastes like toothpaste, but I'm gonna disagree, man. It just has mint in it, that's all. And mint is yummy. Mint ice cream. Windows 98 Alpha 3? Do you think float step will ever be brought back for PvE, or is this method of dealing with hard PvE events just cooked forever? It's gone, buddy. It's gone. They knew about that method. They wanted to kill it. Like, it was their objective. In a sniper scope, wanted to get rid of it. So it's never coming back. Float step is gone. The infinite tackle step gimmick that you could do is gone too. It's all gone. Hard PvE events, you'll have to do it the hard way now. Kaizen, what's your top 5 or 3 animes besides Dragon Ball? Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, Gundam Wing, Hajime no Ippo. There's so many great animes out there, but my favorite one that comes to mind first whenever I think about it has to be Hajime no Ippo. I love Jujutsu as well. I really like Nanami is like my favorite character, but Hajime no Ippo is just the perfect balance of every genre ever. It has some of the best humor. It has some of the best action. It has some of the best slice of life. It has some of the best just motivational bits. It is so good as a series because every character still feels like they matter, whether they're comedic relief, whether they're someone used as a stepping stone for the protagonist Ippo, whether they're just a motivator, whether just somebody there to cut tension. It doesn't matter. Hajime no Ippo does everything right. The only thing it's not doing right is the fact that they haven't made another season. I highly recommend everybody watch it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure my first tweet ever is saying watch Hajime no Ippo. It is so good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So good. Everyone has to watch it. Javon Smith, do you think the devs know the issues of certain characters not being as good as they advertised? I bet they do, but at the same time, it's either they don't care or they just can't do anything about it. Oh, well, they could, but they won't, right? I'm sure they test, in quotes, to some degree these characters, but their definition of what is good is not our definition of what is good. Does everyone here know what a normal distribution graph looks like? It's basically like a big hill. It's low tapering, goes up like a big hill, and then comes down. Almost looks like the tip of a matchstick. The peak of that, where most players sit at, is like battle rank 50. Most of the players in this game are battle rank 50 and less. Thus, people like us that get to battle rank 70 and beyond and god ranks and all this stuff, we're such a small minority of the player base that these things, they're not for us. They're not thinking of us when they make these characters. So when Metal Cooler comes out, it's probably made for the people that have to deal with somebody doing YOLO full range strikes, YOLO full range rising rushes, just random mid-range blues. Those 3 lives exist for the people that randomly get caught by the random crap that their opponents throw. So it helps them. But for us, where it's like, you know, it's more methodical, it's more technical, there's at least a rhythm to things with some predictability. So what if the guy has 3 lives? This is now where his offense actually matters and he stings. That's the difference. I'm sure they know maybe for the upper bit, this character sucks. But for the people that don't know what they're doing and they're just swinging wildly, just haymakers, this probably has some value. That's probably the difference. What if the devs are only battle rank 50? Who knows? I think they just aren't as good as we think they are, and we have to remember we're just such a minority case, right? They can't design everything for us, so I think that's just something we got to keep in mind. Goku Black, the game has never been this dry. CC is low. The ultras are releasing too quickly or getting buffs that you simply can't keep up. The devs try to make the game better, but it goes out the trash can every time they do. You face the exact same teams. Matchmaking is rigged. None of these are questions. These are actually truths. I agree with all of these things. We haven't seen 3 ultras released in the span of 6 weeks. I was shocked that the GT campaign started with an Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but they clearly have some sort of plan in mind. Who knows what they're doing? Yeah. You facing the exact same teams, this is because the 2 best characters in the game are ultras. That's just the way it is. I bet if the devs actually went out their way to ensure you could not run the 2 together, things would look a lot different. Like if Frieza needed you to run at least 2 other Frieza Force allies or 2 LOE allies, then it would be different. If Goku required 2 Sun family or 2 other Saiyans, it would have been different. The problem then becomes people complain that they're too restricted. That's the problem. How do you find that balance between making sure people don't run into the same teams by forcing diversity while keeping people happy that they're not too restricted? That's the problem. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's just the truth. The community sometimes doesn't know what they actually want. Matchmaking rigged, I agree. I remember I was running mono red or something and I ran into Vegeta blue and MUI. Who the hell is using Vegeta blue? Nobody until you fight with mono red. What are your suggestions for losing stomach fat? I weigh around 220. I seem to have a problem losing weight around that area. Any tips? Unfortunately, there is no such thing as spot reduction of fat unless you do liposuction. My recommendation is that you just keep yourself in a caloric deficit and you just keep losing weight until that specific area that bothers you is at a size that you're happy with. We don't get the spot reduce where our fat comes from. You just have to lose your body fat overall and then hope that your body just decides that the stomach is where the next place it could be. This is a problem area for a lot of people, you know, like their hip area, their lower stomach. That's typically where a lot of people have their body just hold on to their fat the most. So you just got to keep losing weight, buddy. Gain muscle, lose weight, and yeah, be patient. No stomach crunches don't burn stomach fat. There's no magic tea that you drink for it. There's no magic pill to make you lose weight. There's no magic diet. All these things are going to have to adhere to ingesting less energy than your body it needs, because fat is at the end of the day just stored energy, and you have to ingest less energy than your body needs so that it goes to its stores and uses that energy to make up for the difference. So just be patient, buddy. You got this. Do you think there's any point to me returning to the game after quitting during the Daima campaign? I've been an Android's future main for the past 6 years, and now the game just seems terrible to play. I've been gone for 2 months and thought of returning until Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Future and androids. What characters would you have? You would have nobody. So no, there's probably no reason to return yet. Maybe return just to farm up CC for the inevitable android / future buff. But the only thing that you'd have access to at this point is Ultra Cell. You could use transforming Vegeta Blue. You could use Yellow Goku Black, but they would get cooked by these new characters. So you'd be out of luck. I'm not sure if it would be worth it. What's your opinion on the plenty of new characters that have been practically dead on release or unable to keep up with the meta due to their new philosophy? Evil Vegeta, Metal Cooler, LF Cooler Zenkai, Go Frieza, etc. Each one of these cases is different. The issue with Evil Vegeta is this game, for whatever reason, wants to make every Vegeta clan unit a long Vegeta specifically. They want to make them long combo characters, but the game hates long combos. It does everything it can to stop long combos, so I don't understand why they do that. This guy is such a selfish character. You have to make his gauge level 3 for him to feel as good as he should be, but that takes too long. Look at his counterpart, MUI Goku. This dude just transforms and he has all the damage that he needed, and he has the anti-endurance off the blue. Vegeta, he needs to level up the gauge to level 3, and even then his blue card sucks still. I don't know. They just don't know what they're doing with Vegeta. For Metal Cooler, I specified earlier, they made this character for like battle rank 40, 50, where a bunch of Haymaker YOLOs can catch people, and maybe the multiple lives can help those people out. LF Cooler Zenkai, his Zenkai is a weird thing, right? His Zenkai is just honed in more on his forte, which is to snipe. And I think as a sniper, Cooler can do that. Like at the end of the day, it's still a guy who shows up on the field, gets a free combo, and then he can also spam out a bunch of other cards. So how do you find a balance between we want to make his sniping better while we also don't want to make this guy an obnoxious character? I don't know how they would achieve that. But I think for his Zenkai Awakening and for that specific role that he has, I think they did fine. It's just he falls flat on everything else. That's the problem. For Go Frieza was usable with their unique equip, but the game rapidly power crept. Like from part 1 of Anniversary to part 3, it went insane. It just went haywire power creep. So that's the issue. They were usable, but then by the time the Anniversary ended, they were trash. Part of it is the community obsesses with top 10 characters. Like if it's not a character in the top 10, their brain just says, oh, that means they're unusable, not worth your time, garbage characters. When that's not true. I would argue characters that are like top 30 and above can get you wins. It's just if you had the other guys, you just have an easier time, but that isn't to say they can't help you. I think it's fine. Like the Ginyu Force, I don't think they're top 10, but the Ginyu Force team can do work with that unique equip. LF Cooler can help you snipe out yellows. Kaba is not the worst support, but he does have tools to deal with endurances. He can help with combo potential. Kale and Khalifa are really good supports with a decent disrupt, and the tag switch helps with sustain. They work pretty good, but they're not top 10 in my opinion, but they can still work. So I think people just got to broaden their horizon on what is actually good, even if it's not top 10. And I guess the devs, they're just crazy. Do you feel that Legends is going to get to a point when damage and damage guard are so high up that older units couldn't even dream to compete with the newer units? We're already at that. We got damage guard numbers that are like damn near 230, 250 at times, like the Ultra Namek Goku. Sitting that high just destroyed Legends Fest characters and before. Basically 6.5 years worth of characters unusable, unrunnable characters. They are all sucky. Part of me thinks the new design philosophy was actually a lie. They made a problem to sort of pitch a solution when they didn't need to. It's almost like they did it to kill 6.5 years worth of characters so that now they can justify Zenkai awakening them or giving them unique equips. Do you know what I mean? Because now everyone needs one. So now they opened up 6.5 years worth of characters that they could say like, get excited again, guys. Yellow transforming Goku Black that is less than a year old is getting a unique equip. Yeah, I bet that's what they did. Do you want your other channel to have more collabs with other channels to play multiplayer games? I think it's a pretty small channel at this point. I think it needs to get its footing in the door. The big thing I want out of that other channel is to not be subjected to FOMO. I don't want to have to think, oh, I gotta stay up to play, you know, the newest Elder Scrolls so that I could get a video out minute one. Like, I just want it to be like, we have a really nice dedicated community that is like, oh, what's Rai playing now? What? He's playing Fierce to Fathom. I love Fierce to Fathom. I can't wait to see him play it. Or they're like, I've never played Fierce to Fathom before, but you know, Rai's a funny guy. I'd love to see how funny guy plus new game looks. That's what I want. Really. I played Undertale, Deltarune, fell in love with both those games, and I was touched by what a nice community we gathered that didn't have to care that it was like, oh, this is, you know, damn near a decade old now, but we just love seeing you play it. That's what I'm hoping for. Same thing happened at a Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, those views were really, really great. People had a great time. People watched what spanned several months worth of a playthrough. It's awesome. I'm hoping that's what happens out of the second channel, but we'll see. Piccolo, what fields in comp sci do you think current students should specialize in to increase their chances at landing an entry-level job? Do you have any advice for future software engineers when it comes to working with AI? Number one, I think the number one field would probably be cybersecurity. I feel like no matter what, as we expand on this technological age, the need for developers that can help deal with cyber attacks will be important. There will always be, like, right now, there's probably like tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of companies getting attacked by like foreign nations trying to steal their technical you know, their IPs. That's just what you need. There's always going to be a growing need for people to help protect their intellectual property. But honestly, we will need software engineers no matter what. It's one of those careers that will not easily be phased out. I know there's this big threat of AI and people are searching for jobs that AI cannot take over. A human will always need to be involved when it comes to software development. But you shouldn't be intimidated by AI. As a software engineer, you should see it as an opportunity to help your work. Devs won't lose to AI, but devs will lose to other devs that leverage AI. So if I was you, I would learn to take advantage of the tools that AI brings to the table. It can help streamline information. It can help you really pinpoint where an issue is in your code. Just leverage them. They could help you spin up, who knows, Docker containers, help you spin up dev environments. They could help cut your development time significantly. They're not going to take your job. They just help you. So don't be afraid of AI. Get yourself familiar with tools. And if anything, that could be one of those things that you can leverage when you go into interviews. You know, what are your strengths? Oh, I'm familiar with this, you know, AI suite that helps you with doing this, and I managed to bring down development time for this by X amount of time, and you know, stuff like that. There's value in it. What is your favorite comfort meal / snack? My comfort meal boils down to the mood, right? I think for me, it all depends on what my current appetite is. I don't have a favorite comfort meal. I just know that what brings me comfort is a gigantic meal of whatever my cravings were at that moment. What's that? I crave burgers. I want 10 burgers immediately. I want to eat until I look like Snorlax, and then I go to sleep. Do you miss a specific era of Legends? Yes, I miss the era of Legends where it wasn't so complicated. I think there was value in the simplicity of the game. I think once things grow and they become too layered, it just becomes too intimidating for people to want to get into it, so they don't bother. That's why Legends is trying to crack down on kits. They want to make it like a bunch of colors like a traffic light so people can easily digest the info and play it more, but it's not happening. Specific era for me is probably like the Saiyan meta with Namagoku, Green Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Angel Vegeta. Do you think Legends will blow it out of the park for Legends Fest this year? I don't know if they will. All I know is they have to. If Legends Fest this year sucks, you can quote me on this, but if it sucks, then I think that's like, I genuinely will think that's the beginning of the end. Last year's Legends Fest did such tremendous damage to the game that I still think we did not recover from it. So if this Legends Fest sucks and is on the same quality what we got last year, we're screwed. We're 100% screwed. It will not go well. I already know it. Do you ever plan on doing a face reveal, Rai? Promise I won't switch up no matter the looks, and it doesn't matter. I respect it. But if you don't want to, one dude won't let you push. It's not a necessity. I was thinking at some point I have to, right? I feel like it just makes things more personable. I think it's fun that way. I'm not worried about people switching up on me because of my looks. I've said this before, like, my face is my face. I can't go to God and say, hey buddy, I don't like what I got, can I re-roll? I'm happy with my face, and that's all that matters. If other people don't like my face, then well, what do you want me to do, buddy? What do you want me to do? I would rather be proud of my rink-a-dink face than look in the mirror after getting surgery to cater towards strangers and not see my own face. It's just my face. Who cares? So it's not about the looks. It was always about work, hence why I never did it. But I do think at some point I will have to / want to, just so I can connect more with you guys in the community, and more so for streaming purposes in the other channel. But of course, due to work, it's not that easy for me to do. I'll do it at some point. It's just about finding that right balance when it should happen. And I think a lot of that's going to come from how well the second channel and the streams do. I got to keep cracking away at those things. Do you think Legends would ever make Mercenary Tau an Ultra? Dude, anyone could be an Ultra. I'm not kidding. There's nothing stopping them from making someone an Ultra. It's just them. So Mercenary Tau could be an Ultra. There's no like prestige in their minds where it's like, okay, this is the bar and no one can pass it except for a Saiyan or, you know, a Fusion or a super top tier villain. Anybody can be one. I know he's kind of a joke character now, but when he was first introduced, he was a proper menace, and deflecting that bullet with a slipper is easily one of the coldest moments I've seen in any piece of fiction. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people are not going to remember what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about. Mercenary Tau was a super epic villain, but he could get an Ultra, but it would only be after 98% of the game has already seen one, you know? And Legends is very slow at their Ultra release schedule. That we've had Ultras for over 3 years now, and I think we only have like 20. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe at some point, maybe in a few years. How come you don't use alt colors for units? Mostly because I'm too lazy to go and exchange it. I don't really care about them. And can the plush come back? Maybe. I've had mixed opinions on that. I also didn't want it that I became a PNG tuber or a VTuber. It was never really about that. I always just saw it as he's just like a chill guy there. Does that make sense? He was just meant to be a chill guy, but people associated my caricature as him when I really just wanted it to be he's just the homie there chilling while we play kind of thing. I don't know. In my head it makes sense, but saying it out loud it sounds stupid. Maybe. What other tags do you think should be buffed? Literally all of them, because they destroyed every character box with their new philosophy. Having a game original Goku can be customized like Shallot. That'll never happen, because then it would make bring into question why you would bother summoning for any new Goku. Let's try to get an actual game original first. What do you think about having a girls campaign, and how would you structure it to buff the team? The issue with a girls campaign is it'll make negative money. Even if we find some of the female warriors really cool, most people just don't care. That's the problem. Most of them do not care. I don't think there'll ever be a campaign for girls that is fully fledged. How would you structure it to buff the team? Exactly how they do now. Ultra, LF or 2, Zenkais, and a unique equip. But how many female warrior LFs even exist? Isn't there just one? Isn't it just Kefla? Isn't Kefla the only female warrior LF? I think so. So we would have to wait till Kefla needs a Zenkai or a unique equip, which is not going to happen for a long time. Why haven't they created a chat for guilds? Dude, Legends is literally Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Can you imagine a chat for the guilds? People would be throwing racial slurs immediately. Why does the game either flop Vegeta or make him a relevant unit for a period? I'm seeing like Red Super Vegeta Caliber and UMV and no in between. Because I guess they're just dumb. There's probably it probably has to do with the fact that they release far more Goku characters than they do Vegeta, so there's less opportunities to find that character in between those two. That's all. We've had those caliber characters too as Gokus. Do you think the GT team at the end of the campaign will be better than the Frieza Saga team with Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta? No, I don't think so. Those two Ultras are just unbelievably toxic and powerful. I don't see it. I mean, they could get close, but I don't think they will. I think Krillin, Goku, and Frieza are just too good, and the team with those two and just having Vegeta instead of Krillin is equally as annoying because of all the sub count and healing that they got. So I don't know. Probably not. Do you think the supporter system will make the game more pay to play, even eventually stuffing out a huge player base for the game? I don't even want this damn supporter system now that I think about it. I think the whole thing sounds like crap. You summon for a supporter that has a Z ability, and then now you gotta put up with leveling up the damn thing. I didn't want Dokkan Link leveling in Legends. I don't want to deal with that crap. Who wants to deal with leveling up supporters? The fact that they gave him Z abilities to me is stupid. We saw a teaser of one of the earlier ones, which was Dende, and he heals. That's such a tame version versus some of the crazy crap they can come up with. I already know it. Think about it. Oh, my character's about to get KO'd. What am I gonna do? Oh, I got the supporter where Vegeta fires a beam like when Gohan was facing Cell and he stops your guy from getting KO'd. Or oh, we're gonna have a supporter where Piccolo runs in against Nappa's beam like he protected Gohan and your character doesn't get KO'd. Like the gap will be there. They have to give us a reason for people to care about these supporters. They will introduce another gap, but think about that. I just don't want to deal with more crap. I don't want to do more things for my teams. You have to get 3 to 6 competent characters, then you got to get the damn equipment for them, then you got to get the right Zenkais for them, and then now you're telling me I got to put up with getting supporters and ranking them up. I don't want to do that. There is value in the simplicity of a phone game. Stop adding so many layers that nobody wants to deal with. I don't want to deal with supporters. It sounds obnoxious at some point. So I don't know. I think depending on how they implement it, it could gap things more, but odds are it will. If they're ever introducing a new concept, it'll always benefit paying players more. How much of a gap it makes is up to them. If the difference is, you know, level 1 he has 10% strike attack and level 99 he has 12%, then not as much. But if the difference is 10% to 30%, then a lot. We'll see. What new mechanics would you like to see in the game? None. I don't want to see any more. I would rather this game iron out optimization issues and deal with input issues and deal with balance issues and power creep issues before they bother trying to introduce new behaviors and mechanics right now. You know, most of the PvE content is crap and nobody cares. Guild battles never happens anymore. A tournament of power mode is at risk of reducing in-game rewards. Like, I feel like they could better spend their time on ironing out already existing things versus introducing new stuff. Will you be streaming Squadron when it comes out? Maybe. I like MOBA games, but I have a hard time enjoying Squadra as a MOBA because they took away equipment builds. So I guess we'll see. I deduced from the beta it may not be the game for me, and that's fine, but maybe it'll be different in the full release. Do you think that this meta is better or worse than Daima? It's better. I don't care what anybody says. Daima's meta was the worst meta I ever experienced. I don't care. People talk about, oh, I can't do anything. You genuinely could not do anything back then. And even worse is you, in this game, in this meta, you at least have control of when you can't do something. Back in the Daima meta, you were stuck with paralysis all the damn time. The damn healing the team had, so even if you had a chance to get one card in, they healed all the damn damage up because of Ku. The paralysis was obnoxious. The constant disrupt was obnoxious. Like, I hated that meta so much. Every meta will be better than the Daima meta. I hated that meta. 10 out of 10 hate it. I think Daima was way worse. I would rather put up with this meta than Daima 100 times over. If you could sit with the Legends dev team and pitch one major change, what would it be and why? Probably buffing up the CC cap. I think 20k is too low now. Where do you realistically see Dragon Ball Legends in 5 years? In 5 years? I don't know, man. 5 years is such a long time ahead. Hopefully alive, and they're releasing Ultra LF. I don't know, Vegeta Blue Synchro Gauge, maybe. If you could design your own LF animation, what would it look like? I just want the Spirit Bomb. I just want a remake of the Spirit Bomb LF from the Buu Saga. That's what I want. I think Festival is going to be Buu Saga for that guy. Do you think they took a wrong turn with Ultra Full Power Frieza by giving him Cover Null in every Death Beam? Yes. They should not have given him Cover Null in every Death Beam, and I genuinely think Death Beam should have been a long animation. It doesn't make sense for it to be short. While trying to weaken long combo characters, making Death Beam near impossible to counter. Yeah, they made a mistake. Death Beam is too overpowered. How are you doing, man? Good, good. What is your favorite story game? Undertale. Pretty good. How do you balance between being a software engineer and YouTube? You sacrifice a lot of sleep. That's pretty much it, unfortunately. I broke down what a day-to-day looks like earlier. Any advice for those that want to start a YouTube channel? Do you think is a good time to start? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. All I could say is start, be consistent, appreciate your community, and bring something new to the table so that you can, you know, cluster. Do you think the direction they're heading for the Fusion Warrior team is to be some sort of anti-meta team compared to the rest of the game? I don't think that's what they're going for. I think they're just trying to give them buffs on the aspects that they know they need. Like when they buffed up Ultra Super Vegeta, they knew they needed a tank because Fusion Warriors had nothing. So at the very least, having somebody that can at least tank and deal decent damage was important. Then they released Kefla, who with the release gauge completely disregards all of the disruptive effects that exist in the game right now. And then they gave a unique equip to Gogeta because I honestly think he was just meant to be a glorified support. He's just there to give you a full hand of cards. That's it. I think they're just trying to try to do the most that they can with the least amount of effort. So equips is what they're doing. And I think with the Red Gogeta and Ultra Super Vegeta, they're sort of getting there. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do next. More collabs with other YouTubers. The difficult thing is usually timing. Everyone's time zone's different, and sometimes I'm busy. Like my schedule changes day by day. Oftentimes with Goresh, it's easier because he does this full time now, and usually, you know, we have our own chat. So sometimes we could just pose the question of, you know, jump on a call, and then boom, we just start firing off, getting a discussion in, because we already know we're both at the same time working on that thing. That's why it's a lot easier. Oh, favorite Jiu-Jitsu character? Nanami. What did I think of the season 3 trailer? I know it's gonna be peak. Gonna be great. Okay, so how do you hold your phone when you play Legends? So I have a foldable device. I used to hold it with, okay, so imagine the screen folds out. I'm using the inside screen. The left half of the screen I used to hold with my left hand, and then I would play using one finger on my right hand. So that's why things like pressing a strike before a tackle comes in, or trying to get a long range rush, or trying to blast clash was difficult because of the finger travel. But now I have it sit on a stand because me holding the device like this has my wrist at a 30-degree bend inward, and it started to hurt my wrist. So now it's even more awkward because the device I feel like I have less control over because it sits on a stand. Like, try playing Legends having your tablet like maybe on the floor, or, you know, against a stack of books or something. Like, it's, you feel awkward because you're not completely gripping the whole thing, so you don't feel like you have the same amount of control. That's how I play with the device. Sacrifice being able to speedily react to everything in favor of a wider device. Do you think Legends is doing great this year, or do you prefer the other anniversary? I think 6th anniversary is still their best anniversary. This meta still, this current year is still so crazy, so I don't know. But I guess we'll have to see what they're gonna do. Random question: if you could remake any unit, which would it be? I would make them remake the Buu Duo. That's what I would do. That unit is one of the most disrespected in Legends history. They introduce a brand new friggin' mechanic, and then they make the character crap, and then that new mechanic doesn't get touched on at all. They just vault it like it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. The ending credits, they just seal it away. That character had fire animations. It was such a cool, refreshing concept. They were let down by their kit. Then they give him a unique equip that doesn't even address the main issues of the character. That character on its own just had issues. Like, one of the biggest ones was them getting sustained damage cut penetration. It would only ever be the maximum amount after you already did prep mode. How does that make sense? Why would you wait until after prep mode to get your max damage cut? Why wouldn't you do it when you have prep mode? It doesn't make any sense. So they give a unique equip that gives them stats, and then they help the Vegeta get like extra cards, but it's like that there's so many more issues to address. You just padded them with stats. And then what? Less than 6 months later, they give him a Zenkai Awakening, and the Zenkai Awakening gave him stuff they should have had already on release. None of it was insane. They gave Vegeta card draw speed, and then they gave him stacking of strike damage or blast damage, and then they got damage inflicted when they got hit, which would have been perfect for prep mode. But none of those things justified exhausting all the powering up opportunities for the character. A Zenkai and a unique to give the character what they should have had on release. Now they're dead. They're dead. There's no more opportunities to power them up now. We gotta wait until they give them a second unique, but when is that gonna happen? Never. It's never gonna happen. The Zenkai buff for tag switch characters suck too, because they don't give you 40%. They instead give you half a Zenkai buff, but it now touches on a wider variety of tags. So for this case, it's Blue Sun Family or Blue Vegeta Clan. You would think if you're a character that's both, you would get both, but no, you only get a half no matter what. So they butchered that guy. They butchered that man. I hate it. Maybe I'll make this the last one. What's your opinion on the balancing against passive players? For me, I feel the vanish kill whenever you full back is ridiculous. Doesn't help against passive players, and it punishes you for some of the most average PvP strategies. This was a lie, man. This was a lie. The way that they screwed the game with that battle system change. The game feels so restricted, but what's worse is, and I called this out when it happened, they took away freedom of character control so that they could make characters better take advantage of those, but they sold it under the guise of them changing battle systems to force gameplay that players wanted. Does that make sense? They pitched it as, oh, we wanted to stop punishing people that keep floating back. When in reality, they made it harder for you to deal with the characters that were coming soon after. You can't back up against Frieza. Otherwise, you get hit with the death beam. That's just a tremendous advantage for them. And then what about a character with an AoE green? What about that? You've guys seen it in my videos. Ultra Namek Goku used 2 green cards in like 10 timer counts. Now I'm under the never-ending thought of this guy probably has to have another green. So I back up, but my assumption is wrong. I'm backing up thinking it's an AoE green, but they don't. They use a blast card or a strike instead. Guess what? I can't move. I don't have any vanish. And if I decide to blast armor through it, it doesn't matter. They'll just vanish it, and then I didn't get any. I lost some vanish, and I lose priority. They deliberately took that away so that people could get away with easier priorities. Whatchamacallit? I've constantly said that Legends is an interesting game because in the App Store and Play Store, there's millions of trash phone games that are so unbelievably pay to win, and I mean like. I think Legends players don't truly understand what pay to win looks like. Pay to win is like you literally cannot win. I use Rush Royale as an example. Your crit damage, which is just like a multiplier for doing more damage, that is based on the total limit break amount of your box. So if you have, let's say there's 100 characters. If you own all 100 characters and you limit broke them to their max, let's say that gives you 1,000 crit damage. If you are someone with half of that, you only have 500% crit damage, you can't win. There's no winning strategy. There's no, oh, if I PV him, or oh, if I guess his rush. You literally can't win. You just forfeit. You run into that, you have to forfeit. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You will not win. Legends is different in that, okay, yes, there is a paid advantage to having more stars on your team. But if you play good, you could beat them. If they're constantly mid-range striking and you vanish them, if you backflip them and they're over tapping, if they're trying to get you with AoE greens and you keep backing up and you catch them off guard, or if you play well, you can beat whales. I genuinely think the devs did this change to punish that. They didn't want players having so much freedom of control so that they could not bridge the gap, that pay-to-win gap, by just playing better. So now the game is just mid-range spam, 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 and the person that has AoE greens, or the person that has death beams, or the person that has the newest shiny character can move past this change. Remember what the first character was that after they did their balance change with this? It was IT Goku. AoE green spam McGee, and then even worse is he restored Vanish when he used the Strike or Blast. So in that scenario where I'm backing up, or say, you know, you're backing up, your opponent tackles, and then you use a strike card, like Goresh and I did some playtesting with this. If you were any other character, you lost Vanish, and the other person can get free priority. But if you do that with IT Goku, you restored just enough Vanish that you can now vanish the person going for the strike card, and then you hit him with the AoE green. This is the same crap. This is the same crap as that. Now we got death beams and all this other garbage. I'm telling you, they sell it as, hey, we're doing this to better the game, when in reality they're doing it to sell specific characters, and the people that own them get a better advantage. It's all a lie. It's all a damn lie. But either way, I'm gonna let that be the final question that I answer here. I apologize to anyone's answers that I didn't get to, but basically, long story short, yeah, hopefully you guys learned something new about me. And if not, then we'll do another Q&A in the future. But until then, hopefully you guys are being safe. Hopefully I am relaxing in the sun. And I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.